Property Brrrrothas, flipping these lookers like no one's above us. We see the gold in the dirt, in the dust, turning these ruins to riches.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? We are the Property Brrrrothas coming at you.
Brothers.
I am your host, Jordan, along with my co-host and partner in crime and cousin and all things extraordinaire, Drew, coming at you. And man,
What's up, everybody?
we are just so excited to be here, man. What's up, Drew?
What's happening, man? How you doing? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, dude. I'm super excited to be here, man, and just along for the journey, bro. Along for the journey.
I cannot wait to share our journey, our story. Man, we had an interesting week this week. We had a great week this week,
Good.
but you know,
Good.
we'll have to peel that back later. Tell us about who you are, man. Who is Jordan? What makes you tick? What's going on there?
Well, listen, I am by trade, I am a school teacher, right? So there's a lot of things that go on in my life on a day-to-day basis. I teach, I coach, I officiate sports, football, basketball, and then I am also a real estate investor, not to mention a husband and a full-time dad. I have 5 girls. Hat out to
Hey,
all
how many-
the girl
how many you
dads
said?
out there.
How many you said?
Man, you know how many I said. Stop. I said 5, man.
But you didn't
5.
say 5 beautiful girls.
5 beautiful
Beautiful
daughters.
girls.
That's right. Shout out to all the girl dads out there. And yeah, man, that's what we do, dude. We're out here grinding, hustling, still in the grind in our W-2s. But man, we're trying to work towards that financial freedom, that financial future through real estate, man. So that's kind of where we're at, dude. What about you? Tell the people who you are, man.
Yeah, so you know, I'm an entrepreneur. Been an entrepreneur for forever. I currently run a full-time advertising agency, public ad, and yeah, man, that has been my journey for a long time. I've always been an entrepreneur, but besides that, I am also a father to 2 beautiful kiddos. I am a husband, dedicated husband, and just a hardworking individual, man, just trying to get out here and hustle and grind and create a legacy for the family. So yeah, man, you know, what else? You got a lot of side hustles. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I stack up against that? I mean, obviously I'm a coach, coach basketball. I don't ref. I get mad at the refs all the time.
It's always a ref's
but
fault,
yeah, man.
Blame the refs.
Dude, it is always a ref's fault. So yeah, man, I think, there's a lot of passion that I have for the real estate game, and man, it's been a journey already. And I just can't wait to share with the people kind of where we started, how we got our start, how do we keep pushing, how do we navigate through the ups and through the downs. Just super excited to get into it. So listen, Jordan, you started this. So actually we started it back in COVID when we, right before COVID, right? When we started talking about legacy and talking about our kids and talking about, what do we leave? How do we get ourselves financially secure? So, why don't we dig into that a little bit?
Sure, man. Yeah. So like you said, when the world came to a halt back in 2020, that's kind of where my mind shifted and just kind of pivoted. And, you and I had been talking a lot weekly. We had like these little calls where we would jump on and talk to each other and our other members of our family. And we were just kind of talking about, the future and just talking about finances. And, it really shifted the way I thought about financial literacy and in fact, what I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So long story short, made a couple of moves, which we can get into with another episode on how we, came to that creative financing, as we said. Anyways, made a couple of moves. And then I remember I said, hey, man, Drew, what you know about real estate? You remember what you said?
I do not remember what I said, but it was probably something stupid.
Yeah, I think it was. You just said something to the effect like, not enough, but I'd like to know. And I was like, all right, well, I got to do this on my own, like, cause my boy don't know.
I was
And
heavy in the crypto game at that time.
yeah, you were heavy into crypto, man. And crypto was going to the moon back in COVID. So a lot of people were doing that. Shout out to all our crypto heads out there. You know, that's awesome. We definitely hodl over here, and we like us some Bitcoin. But we could get into that. But anyways, I just said to myself, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna try this real estate thing, man. And I had read a couple books, and I think the purple book that everybody kind of reads and gets them started with Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Shout out to the Rich Dad team. That just really, boom, you know, made it like, wow, this is accessible, right? And
That brings me back to something that you said earlier when you started talking about this, is that a lot of people aren't hip to the game. Like they don't know what they don't know. So you're in your environment and you only know what you're exposed to, right? Sometimes you don't even know where to look.
100%.
Right. And, you know, we started going down this rabbit hole where we were like, oh, well, what about this? And, oh, well, what about this? Oh, well, how do we do this? I mean, everything seems so mysterious and so like there's doors that are closed, right?
Yeah.
And we went exploring and, you know, we weren't afraid to open up some of these doors. Well, let me just say, I went down one trail, you went down another trail, right?
Right.
And we were both really hungering for knowledge on how we could better position ourselves and set ourselves up for financial freedom, so to speak, right?
And that lasting legacy that we're trying to build. Yeah. And like you said, we both kind of like went down separate trails, but then we came back and had, you know, decided, you know, real estate's going to be my ticket, if you will, to try to create this financial freedom, get out of the rat race, you know, so to speak.
Much history in real estate, right? Like when you think about all of the big people who've actually made financial success.
Oh, 100%. Well, you know, they say like everybody, you know, the wealth, every rich person who ever was in America, right? Their wealth either began or ended in real estate. You know what I mean? So listen, we're still out there. We're still grinding. I ain't quit my 9 to 5 yet, right? I'm still school teaching every single day, right? I still got all these side hustles. Drew's still doing his thing, but we are slowly building our portfolio.
Yeah. So I mean, how did you land on, you know, why don't you talk about kind of how you landed on real estate, and then how did you pick where you wanted to start investing? Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So that was really interesting because we live in California, right?
And we don't even live in the same California.
And we don't even live in the same California, dog. Like I live in Central California. You live in Southern California.
Two different worlds.
It is, right? You know, like you can drive 8 hours in Cali and still in the state. You know what I mean? So, but the pricing for homes, the purchase prices are astronomical when it comes to trying to buy a rental investment.
Well, it makes it unreachable. It's like you're sitting there thinking about, all right, I want to invest. I want to buy a house. You're like, I can't even buy myself a house.
Exactly. Right? And at that time, you know, we had barely been in our home, in this home right now, for 2 years, right? And so we had just bought our primary residence, and here I am trying to buy another one. And I was like, man, the way my bank.
And when you told me that you were trying to buy another house, I was like, yeah, good luck. Good luck on that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, man, the way my bank account's set up, you know, I got my checkies, I got my savings. Shout out to Kevin Hart. And I'm like, dude, I can't do it here in Cali. But I was like, think that there's a way. So started researching, started really getting heavy into the real estate space podcast, and then found Bigger Pockets. Shout out to the Bigger Pockets community. Holding it down out there, man. You guys are making it possible for everybody. Anyways, jumped in, and everybody was talking about long distance investing. And I was like, long distance, everybody got a phone, everybody got the apps, whatever, everybody. And so I'm like, cool. Well, I think I can do it that way. My money here in Cali can go a lot further, elsewhere, with my W-2. While it may not be astronomical here in our state, it can definitely purchase a nice rental investment out of state. So I settled on the Midwest, and I had narrowed it down to a couple of markets.
Yeah, I remember you were talking to me about that. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
what do you think about, what was it? Indiana? Was it like St.
Indiana?
Louis?
At the time, it was Indiana, and specifically Indianapolis. It was Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah,
it was.
That's where roots are from, right? We got some roots out there in Kansas City.
Yeah, and we got roots out there, man. We got family out there. So I was like, okay. It was also Arkansas. It was also Memphis, right? So it's right there in that nice little Midwest pocket. So ultimately, I just started doing my research and looked at kind of what the job markets were like out there in the Midwest. There were some strong indicators that were pointing towards Indiana. Indiana is a very landlord-friendly state.
And that's huge, right?
That's huge, man. Also, Indiana is about middle of the road when it comes to taxes. So I was like, let me see what's up with Indiana. And
remember when you said that, I was like, dude, this dude is crazy.
This dude's crazy, man. And you know what? A lot of people said that. A lot of people were like, dude.
I never told you to your face.
Yeah, but
I said, hey, you can go do it. Go do it. Go to Indiana. What you know about Indiana?
Yeah, you're like,
they don't even have a good basketball team.
Space. I know. A lot of people were questionable, right? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, what you investing out of state? I'm like, it's not as hard as you think. So
I mean, you didn't know.
I didn't know that, but
But you threw your hat in the ring.
Threw my hat in the ring. I was willing to take a risk. I was willing to take a calculated risk at that. And I tell people a lot, like, at the end of the day, if the numbers make sense, it's just math, that it can work. And as long as you have the right people and the right team. So that's kind of where I really had to do my due diligence.
Yeah. So can you kind of peel back those layers, man, and tell us, like, how did you come up with a team that you could trust? Because you taking real money from California and investing it out of state.
Dude, that is I'm just going to preface this with, I know a lot of people out there, right, that are watching this. They're like, yo, how can I get into this space and trust that old boy, old girl, whoever is not going to just take my money? And guess what? You don't know, right? You really don't know, right? You don't really truly know. And so it comes with doing your due diligence. It comes with the vetting. It comes from experience. It's a lot of things. But, that first person that I got was my agent. And I found my agent on Bigger Pockets. Again, shout out to the BP community, man, holding it down out there. Wealth and knowledge. Found her there and just started communicating, hopped on a phone call with her. Felt good about the communication. She had worked with investors. Like, she kind of was predominantly working with investors, and she was working with out-of-state investors. And so she kind of knew, like, and specifically from California. At that time, there was a lot of traction, not quite yet, but there has gaining momentum in people investing out of state. So she was like, look, I'm going to send you some deals, blah, 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 and we'll go from there. So at that time, she sent me a deal. Excuse me, let me back that up. I found the deal. I looked at it. I sent it to her, and she's like, oh, you know what? I think I have this. This is actually one of my listings. Let me check it out, blah, blah, blah. She checked it out. She's like, oh, dude, this is this could really work.
Yeah.
It was like $75,000.
Okay.
Right?
Damn.
And I was
That's great.
like, all right,
Well,
cool.
so $75,000 for a studio?
It was $75,000. Listen, that'll get you about a bathroom and a kitchen out here in California, right?
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
That got me a real nice 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, single family home in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Damn,
and
man.
I had to come to the table with 25%, you know.
25%? Not even just
25%.
20s? Wow. Okay, that's not even 20. They said 25%.
They said 25%,
Now,
man. You
why
got to
was it
put it down.
25%? Because like most of the time when you're buying a house, they want you to bring 20% down.
They want you to bring 20%, or if you're a primary residence, right, and you're doing FHA.
You can even do a 3%.
You can even do a 3% on a primary, right? But you ain't living in this one, right? This is a rental property, an investment. So they want you to have skin in the game.
Gotcha.
So they said 25%. So I was like, oh, okay, damn. So, I had to make it do what it do. I had to, scrap some cash together. And we did. We purchased that first property.
Who's we?
We is my wife and I. We
Nice.
purchased that first property, and that jump-started it.
Can I take you back, though?
Take me back.
So there's a lot that we have to unpack through this journey, right? So
100%.
You picked Indianapolis, and you were talking about some of the reasons why you picked Indianapolis. So at that time, it wasn't like super hot, right? It was still kind of up and coming. So
yeah, I would say so.
You said that you did some research, right? Can you go into that a little bit more so that
Sure.
the audience can kind of hear, like, what is the process? How do you pick a good market? And what were some of the things, some of the leading indicators that you utilized that helped you to say, you know what, I feel comfortable with making this move?
Right. Yeah. So back to what I alluded to, taxes, that was strong. That was a big thing for me. Indiana is right in the middle of the road as opposed to the coastal markets. And I had done some research that there are your coastal markets, which are cyclical, and then there are your Midwest markets, which are kind of linear. Meaning that the market just doesn't kind of fluctuate like it does on a coastal market, and in the Midwest, it's linear. It's just kind of steady. And I was looking for something that I could take a calculated risk, that I didn't necessarily need to hit a grand slam out of the park. I knew I wasn't going to get rich, quick.
You're just looking for your first one.
I was just looking for my first deal. And the Midwest was boring, super boring.
Yeah.
And I was okay with boring. I was like, this is fine. I'm okay with boring.
I mean, you're a history teacher, so we know that you're okay with boring.
Yeah. Shout out to all the kids falling asleep in Mr. Harrell's class. Yeah. Wake up. Fall asleep.
Oh, man.
But what attracted me to Indianapolis was that it had a very, the job market had a little bit of everything, right? So it's a big enough city. It's not like LA big or New York big, but it's big, right? It's a major market in the Midwest, and it's got little pockets throughout the city and little neighborhoods that are attractive. But it's also got different job opportunities, right? So there's a medical industry. And that's the thing, when you're trying to find your market and niche down, you don't want a market that is, that is heavy on one industry, right? So you don't want to choose a market that's only the oil industry. So because if that oil plant goes down, everybody loses their job. Right. I mean, they can't pay rent, right? So you want to have some variety in the job market. And Indianapolis certainly had that.
Yeah, and I mean, Indy's got they've got the medical, like you said. They've got a big situation going out there. I think, don't they have like a new soccer team? They're building a soccer stadium out there. They've got obviously the Indianapolis 500. They got the Colts. They got the Pacers.
Right. Education, right? They got a ton of schools.
then, I mean, obviously you had the foresight back then that, Caitlin Clark was going to be coming out there too. So boom, right?
100%. I was Nostradamus, dog. I was like, man, she coming out there to make it rain. Uh,
Right. And I think, the other thing too is that it's a good tourist community too. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of conventions that come out there. It's a great central location for people to come out and meet. So I mean, there's a lot popping off.
Right. A lot popping off. And so
But
that,
what's funny is that back when you were looking at it, there wasn't as much popping off. So I mean, was there something that you looked at in your research that said, hey, these are things that are actually playing out, or this is the forecast, right?
yeah. So the leading indicator for me was the price, the barrier to entry, right? The purchase price is compared to other markets.
Yeah, I mean, like 25% of 75,000 versus 25% of 150,000, and maybe another market like, Kansas City or what have you. That's a big play.
Right. 100%. And at the time, I had a limited amount that I could use, and the rents were fairly strong in Indianapolis. I could tell compared to other markets, and they were showing that they were kind of going up at the time. And that was a leading indicator for me, along with all the other things that, I mentioned. So, when people are trying to niche down their market and they want to know, like, okay, those are some of the things that you should probably be looking for, right? What's the job market out there? What's the unemployment rate?
Where do you get that information from?
Man, again, shout out to Bigger Pockets, but you can find this information if you just, do a quick Google search. You can go, search jobs. You can search forecasts for rental data. Right.
Yeah.
Usually the state departments, in everybody's, state will kind of have on their website, they'll kind of have some type of data that you can look at and research that you can look at for rental markets.
So let me take you back again. So you talked about how you chose your market, right? And here's what's cool is like you did all this research and, what was it? 3 years later, I said, this looks great. Let me jump in too. Based off of your research, right? But how did you pick your team? Like that's a huge. So obviously you talked about like picking your location, right? And now, who's on the ground? Who's working for you?
How did you have those boots on the ground, man? You got to have those boots on the ground. So at the time, taking it back to that first deal was my agent. So she was the one that. But
how'd you find her? Like what? Like there's thousands of agents out in Indianapolis.
Thousands of agents, man.
And I know you said that, you were kind of looking at like someone who's an investor friendly, right?
Right.
A lot of people say, oh, I'm investor friendly. And then you start working with them and it's like, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yep.
Right. So how did you, kind of go through that process?
I mean, to be honest, man, I narrowed it. It was like her and like maybe two other people, but our communication was just a little bit more organic and authentic. And once I jumped on the phone with her, and I had talked to a couple other agents, she just convinced me that she was the right one. So, I think that where we connected, and I'll be honest, it was that she was also a teacher prior to becoming a real estate agent. She had no longer been a teacher, but she had, so we had kind of connected with that. And that was kind of big for me. So she kind of knew what I was trying to accomplish.
Okay.
So once I got her, I kind of leveraged her resources.
Her relationships.
I did.
For sure.
Because as a rookie, you don't know what you don't know. Right. So I leveraged her resources. After once I was like, yeah, I'm going to put an offer on this. I leveraged her lender. Right. She had a lender. I was just kind of using all of her resources, but your team though should consist of your agent, right? Yep. You got to have the money person, right?
Yeah.
You need a lender.
Yeah.
You need a property manager if you are going to not manage it yourself.
Right. Which is kind of hard to manage yourself from a distance.
It's very hard to manage yourself from a distance physically.
Yeah.
but it's possible to do it remotely. You just have to have other boots on the ground. You need to have a maintenance guy and things of that nature. But if you do a property manager, you get a company that has in-house maintenance and, all those things, then that will kind of take care of itself.
All right. So who really came through for us this week on our team?
Who came through for us was our
insurance company.
Insurance company.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, Mary.
You got to have
big
an insurance company too. Absolutely. I leveraged that as well. And then once I got all those ducks in a row, we were off to the races. And about a year later, which we could talk about this in another episode, but about a year later, it's my second property in Indianapolis as well. But we got that core kind of team. Agent, you got to have. Property manager, you got to have. Lender, you got to have. An insurance agent, you got to have. And if you are doing any sort of rehab, then that other person that's really important. And we can definitely jump in this in another episode. We got lots to say. Is what, Drew? Who's that other person you must have on your team?
Got to have a good contractor, man.
Got to have a good GC.
But so like your first deal, I know you jumped ahead talking about the second deal, but your first deal, you got the 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It was a home. You found the deal. How did you know it was like the right area in Indianapolis?
Oh, that's a great question.
Right?
Yeah.
And how did you know what kind of rent you were going to get?
Right. So again, Indianapolis had some
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Did it pencil out? Did it pay for itself?
100%. 100%, right? So like I indicated, Indianapolis had some strong rental rates that were solid, but they were moving up. The area that I got it in is in an area of Indianapolis called Speedway.
Okay. Is that by the racetrack or something like that? Why is it called Speedway?
Near the Indianapolis 500 racetrack. This is how it gets the name. Right. It's a little bungalow, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily a flashy neighborhood. We would call it a C neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
what does it look like? Can you pull it up on Zillow or something like that?
Yeah, we want to pull it up. Sure.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see your first house, man.
Yeah. So I said it was a little bungalow. It was just something that I knew could be a strong play in the long term. Did it pencil out? Yes, because the rents, at the time, I think we're going for like $800, $850.
Okay. Yeah.
And, once I had my mortgage, I was getting cash flow, and I was like,
so you went in, let me see, let's do some quick math. So you said 25%.
So $75K. So that was my purchase price.
All right. So that was $18,750. All right. Did you have closing costs?
I did have closing costs. Absolutely.
So
I think
what was that roughly?
I think I was probably all in, maybe around $25K.
Okay. So about $7,000 worth of closing costs. Okay. And so then what was your monthly? What was your principal, interest, and insurance and all that good stuff?
All that good stuff. Principal, insurance. I think it was around like $400.
Damn. Okay. So $400, now, and then what were you able to get for?
Now, Drew, you got to remember, baby, this was back in COVID when
you had some good interest rates back then.
That's right, man. I had a solid interest rate.
Yeah, what was that?
Dude, so I got a interest rate, which I still have to this day.
So you got 3.5% on a $50,000 mortgage.
That's right.
Wow. And that's $400 a month. So what you getting for rent for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath out there?
At the time, what we were getting was about $850,
Dude, that's a great return.
Great return, right?
That is a great return.
Great cash on cash return.
Wow. I mean, so you think about like if you put $25,000 into a savings account or some sort of interest earning account, whether it be, crypto,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Would you be able to get $450 worth of cash flow out
I
of
don't
that
know that.
vehicle?
If that was one of your vehicles, I don't.
Consistently.
If that was one of your vehicles, I don't know if you can get that, steadily, right?
I mean, you're talking about annually $5,400 annually off of that $25,000 investment. That's a great return.
Right. Dude, you gotta bear with me one sec, Drew.
No worries. So your
cannot
renter,
remember the doggone address.
do they pay the bills?
So when we say cash flow, that means the renters, after all expenses are paid, mortgage, maintenance, anything like that, after all expenses are paid, the renters are paying down my mortgage. That and the cash flow is what I get to take home and put in the bank, right?
That's fantastic, man. I mean, that's a home run. Now, do all of them work out that way?
Absolutely not.
That was a great, first base kind of rookie situation, right?
Right. And I really could not have asked for a better deal.
Yeah.
In a better situation. And
how'd you take that deal down? So you brought it to your agent, right?
Right.
And so what did that process look like?
That process looked like, and it went quick. Hang on one sec. It went quick. Here we go. There it is. Y'all see it? Y'all see it?
I see it. I see it.
That's it right now, right? So it's cute, right?
Yeah, that's super cute. So right now the Zestimate is $117,000 and you got it for $75,000?
That's right.
Hey, you going so fast I can't see them pictures. Let's see. Dang, that's a nice countertop. That's beautiful, man. So beautiful.
And
wow.
And let me mention this, Drew, if I can. This is what we call a turnkey property. You want to tell the people what a turnkey property is?
So turnkey property is when you purchase a home that's ready to go. You can rent it right away, right? You don't have to do any rehab, and if you have to do any rehab, it's probably minimal, like cleaning or something like that, or maybe get some appliances, but it's ready to go. Once you get it, it's rent ready.
That's right. And that was another thing was, it was minimal maintenance. It was vacant, worked with the seller, and
who is selling this house? Who's selling this house?
Oh, so that's actually a great story. So the lady who was selling the house used to live there. It was like I want to say it was her childhood home, but she lived there for a minute, moved out. Some other people moved in there, and then she had to move. She had to kick them out, move back in it, and then, somebody passed away in her family, and so she needed to sell this home, and that's where I kind of stepped in, and I saw it. I'm like, dude, what a great opportunity for $25,000, all in.
Yeah,
I control this piece of real estate, right? And I can start to be the monopoly guy.
Wow. That's
crazy.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's crazy, man. That is an insane story. But you were right time, right place, right mindset.
Yep.
Right preparation, right? You had all the ducks in a row, and it wasn't a coincidence. Let's just put it that way.
No, you know what? I definitely put myself in a situation where that could come to fruition, and throughout all the other things that were going on in my life, I made time to really be intentional about that. And build and try to start building something that, really, nobody has ever done in our family,
No, not at all.
And I said, why not? Why not me? Why not you? Why not us? You know what I mean? Like let's try something different than what we know what we've always done. And yeah, I think some things kind of fell into place. This first one, which I would say is a home run, still own it to this day. Rents have increased. Like I said, Indianapolis was going up, and
Right.
rents have increased more since then. Still have the same tenants in it. I have it professionally managed, and it's going well, you know. And
That's
so
fantastic.
that first deal really was like, and I think a lot of people who are already in the space who have, you know, maybe 1 or 2 deals already know that once you get that first deal, right, and it's successful, you're like,
Ooh,
I could do this again.
I like that. I like
I like
you
this.
know, this is amazing kind of hearing your process and how you've taken it to the next level and how you actually took action. You did the research, you figured out, you laid your foundation, you got your team in place, you bought your first spot. It worked out amazingly. It was a turnkey situation. What did we do this week, brother? Talk about what happened this week.
Man, what a great week we had, dude. Hey, congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Congratulations to
Property
you, my
brother.
brother, my property
Yes.
brother. Man, so we took down, we just closed on another deal yesterday.
Boom. Hey, so can you show the audience what this house is? What
Yeah,
this looks like?
absolutely. Let's wet their whistle, huh? They can just get
Sure.
a sneak peek, and we can certainly talk about this in the next episode.
Yeah, and we're actually gonna document this entire process. So we just took this down. We actually won this on an auction, and that was an exciting day.
Dude, that was dope.
We were on our accountability call, and at the same time, this property was on its way out, right?
Yeah.
So there were multiple people bidding on the property. There were 3 lots that were up for sale, and we were on the phone with our accountability team. Caleb was on that call as well, and he was bidding on the lot right next to us. Caleb Keys. Shout out to Caleb.
Got out the keys. I got the keys.
Yes, he's buying back the block.
Yes,
He is
sir.
buying back the block. So we were bidding on the house, and we were also bidding on another lot. But there was somebody else that wanted that lot a little bit more than we did, right?
Yeah.
Man, this house is a looker right here. This
Look-
is
Oh, that's a
painful.
beauty.
Hey, this is the opposite of turnkey.
Yeah. So if
I mean, look at that wall in that.
it's so ugly, it's beautiful.
Right. It is ugly. And that's the thing that we have to kind of look at when we're looking at the game. Like you see our name is Property Brrrrothas.
That's right.
We are buying, we are rehabbing. What's the next R?
We are refinancing.
Yep.
We are renting. And then we are
we're
repeating
repeating
the process.
Exactly. And so this house, you guys will be able to see throughout the entire lifespan of the project, how it transitions from, where it is today. So we just got the keys yesterday. We're super excited. We've got some plans in place. This is going to be a really nice situation. So we got this for 103?
That's right. 103.4.
103.4. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And it also has,
I wish we got it for 45,000.
well, that was I think that was our first bid, right? We were down in the 40s. And then we went back and forth, and they, it got bid up. But there's a detached garage in the back, and we're planning on turning this into a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, doing some configuration changes. And we won't share those with you yet. We'll let you see those as those develop.
Yeah.
And then we're also doing a garage conversion. They call it a carriage house back there. We call them ADUs out here, accessory dwelling units. But we're going to do Yep. We're going to convert that. And our goal is to possibly play in the field of midterm and short-term rentals with those 2 units. So we're converting this 1 unit into 2 units. So we're hoping that the after repair value will be somewhere in, mid 3s, maybe 350, maybe low 4s. That's the goal. And I think our all-in price on rehab, we're hoping, is going to be around 125, 130, something like that. So we're super excited about this. We took this down, went through the process of getting it across the finish line with our...
Shout out to everybody that work with us to bring it down.
Yes,
Our
absolutely.
lender, man, our insurance peeps.
Yeah.
The auction dude, shout out, right? Very patient with us.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So, but these are the kind of deals that you have to kind of hunt down.
Yeah.
Especially in today's economy with the interest rate is not 3.5% anymore.
Unfortunately, y'all, right? I mean, I think it's here to stay with where it's at, man. Gone are the days of the sub 4, sub 3 interest rates where we could just go crazy, bananas, So you're going to really have to do your research and really find these types of deals and hunt them down, man. And we'll get
because
into
a lot of people,
Drew, right?
A lot of people say that BRRRRs don't exist anymore.
They say the BRRRR's dead, Drew. Don't they say that?
Nah, yeah, dude. There's so many people that say that, and there's a lot of opportunity still. That is, and you know what? I really enjoy when people say that it's dead. Yeah, because that means that you ain't playing in this market. Right. So
yeah, that's fine. Hey, say it's dead because we'll pick it up.
Yeah, we'll pick it up. Let's get in there. Let's grab the opportunity. Let's do it. And sometimes you have to get not only creative financially, but you also have to get creative with your delivery. Like, what is your vision for the property, right? Yeah. How is that? How are you going to bring something new to the neighborhood? How are you going to build the neighborhood up?
Right.
So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Right. Yeah, man. And this is going to be a great opportunity to kind of showcase not only our journey, as the Property Brothers and as we continue to grow, but y'all are going to see it all, man. Y'all going to see the ups and the downs. We're going to document it all, man, because, hey, we're just two regular guys, right?
That's it.
We still out here. We still grinding. We still work every day.
Hey, we still getting our bumps and our bruises. We taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
But we're getting back up.
Yeah, we're getting back up, man. We are getting back up. We are still doing the hustle. We ain't arrived yet, right? We have not arrived. We got what? How many doors we got, Drew?
First of all, we just got on the freeway. So we
just on the on-ramp, dog.
We still trying to communicate. Hey, we'll be there in a few days.
Exactly.
So let's see. Gosh, how many doors do we have?
I say let's see. We got 1, 2, maybe 10 between the two of us doors.
It's around 10.
10.
It's around 10. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more, but it's early in the morning for us right now. So I'm still trying to get this.
We still thinking. Hey, that's why we got coffee, y'all. That's why
why we got coffee. Exactly.
But yeah, man. So
on this, before we close out, what can our audience expect?
Yeah. So that's good, dude. Like, our audience can expect us, the Property Brrrrothas, right? Property Brothers, Drew and Jordan. You can expect us to be real with y'all. You can expect authenticity. You can expect us to give you the real deal. We might have some guests on, that will share their experience that we know that can provide value.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We just want to serve our community. We want to serve our space and build people up and let them know that, you can do this, right? And we are two perfect examples of two individuals, two Black men who are still in it.
Right.
We have not arrived, and we humbly accept this, this kind of challenge where we want to be able to show you that you can still be on your grind every single day. Go to your job, your W-2, right? Or whatever
and get your active income.
Right. Get your active income, do your hustle, and also create a legacy and also provide for the future. and also, right? So we want to document that and provide that in our space.
Exactly. No, you're right. And I think, the other piece to it too is we want to show them not only what our journey looks like, but also, educate and show them how they can get involved as well.
100%.
And, this is accessible, right? And I think that going back to what you talked about earlier, you don't know what you don't know.
You don't.
So we're hoping, and every day we learn something new in this space. Like it's like something just flies right by, like, dude, I never thought of that, or I never saw that, or we've never experienced that. So we're going to take you on that journey. So hopefully you can learn from our mistakes, but you don't know what you don't know. And we're here to hopefully, feed you some information that will encourage you to take the next step for not only yourself, but for your family, for your loved ones, for the folks that aren't even here now. Generational opportunities, right?
Right.
Real estate is how most rich folks have gotten rich, right? And stayed rich for generations.
It either began or ended there, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, dude, this has been awesome, brother.
It's been awesome, bro.
I appreciate you. I love you.
Love you too, man.
I appreciate you being on this journey with me.
Man, I appreciate you, dude. So we'll get into it as we continue on, like next episodes, man. We're gonna break down deals, y'all. We gonna break down Drew's journey. Don't think like today was kind of like how I got started, and we're gonna break his down. We're gonna look at current projects we got going on, man. We're gonna bring on guests. Like, hey, this is it. This is it.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. And you know what? This is our first episode. This is our first podcast ever.
Hey, ever,
right?
Dog. How you feel about that?
I feel good.
You feel good?
I feel good. I'm excited, man.
Oh, no, we're gonna see what the people say. They're gonna probably say, man, you ugly. We don't like your laugh. Oh well.
Hey, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? We here. Hey, if we can deliver value, that's
it.
That's all
what it's all about, man.
That's all that matters. All right, brother.
All right, bro.
Well, it's been real, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Stay tuned. The Property Brothers. Thanks, guys. Take care. Peace. Property Brothers was produced and edited by the hosts. All rights are reserved by the Property Brothers LLC, and the hosts are operating exclusively on behalf of the Property Brothers LLC. Please consult appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business advice. Nothing on this show should be considered professional advice. We appreciate you all for following our journey. It would mean the world to us if you could like, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. God bless.